Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope all is well. Hope everyone is doing all right. Mm, So last class we finished. We finished four. I think that's what we did. Anybody have any questions on anything? Anybody have any questions? Any problems they want to see me do? Anybody have anything?
Did you get my message in Canvas? I've sent you a Canvas.
Yeah, I believe I did see yours. I haven't got a chance to respond back yet. I'll do that. Probably within the next hour. Yep, getting caught up on all my emails. Yep. All right.
How you doing, boss?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Did y'all go over another chapter, a different chapter on Tuesday?
We finished off the rest of chapter 4. It was the section we had left off in. We were solving
Okay.
the linear equations, and we did the substitution method to finish off that chapter.
I don't know. I already did all the homework on it.
Okay.
But I still want to get the notes. Can you send me the link so I can write the notes and the equations and stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure. That'll happen right after this class.
Awesome. I appreciate you. Are we starting into another chapter today?
That's what I'm looking at now. I'm looking at it because we closed out. That's 1:30. We closed out chapter 4.
Did you guys already do the review, or was that what was going on today?
That's probably what should have been happening today. But this is what we can do. Let's let next class be the review day. Give you guys a chance to tally up your questions over the weekend. Check the video out. See if you have any questions, tally them up for the weekend. And you got lines, angle, perimeter, area, volume. Hold on 1 second, trying to find those notes on it because I didn't. I must have pulled them from another section. And models.
Oh, so on the test, is it set up like the I can't remember if it was or not, like going back on the prior test, and if not, could we do it so where that we can get an example on the test? Because the reason I say that is because I have a problem recognizing which rule I'm supposed to use, or which thing I'm supposed to use. Sometimes I use the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Right. I get it wrong, but I know how to do it. I just need to be reminded of it. Like
now, hold on, let me do something real quick. Somebody says, haven't put a due date on the next test yet. I'm looking at that stuff now, so give me a second. So now, what I can do, what I don't want to do is do that so that if anybody would audit the class, then that would compromise the integrity of the test taking. But the way you get around is the test reviews. So match up the numbers. Like 1 should correspond to 1. I think I did your class that way, wherein the test reviews are very, let me look at test 4, dude, and look at it. So that's 20 questions. And
yeah, I didn't even want to start the review until we did the little review thing here, because I'm still, even though I did all the homework and I got all the right answers, most of it was because I was able to look at an example and then just follow exactly what they were doing. You know, I'm kind of learning doing that. You know what I mean? Like, but if that gets taken away, I'm afraid that my scores are going to tumble.
Right. Looking at this other one, copies that set up the same way.
Because the example is not giving us the answer. It's just showing us, you know, it's just helping us along the process. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say, you know, that it's compromising the integrity of the test, but you know, that's just my opinion. I'm just an advocate for good grades.
Right. Well, see, now the examples will walk you through a problem that's very, if nothing else, you got the same, it just has different numbers. And so what you can do, like the get around, is to do the review. And that number one should be very similar, if not the same, to number one in the test. So if you make good notes, because see, I'm already throwing you a bone by letting you do the test.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Just let you do the test on your own. So that's already, I won't say frowned upon, just not looked upon as you know what I'm saying, as nicely as other things. But if you match up the test review and look at that example and then correspond that to the, like, let's say number one in the test, then you really have that. It's just that the way I shape the test, I can't put it in the test, because then that, you know what I mean, that looks a little too more loose.
I got you. That's real helpful. I'll definitely do that, because I do the review test, and then and then that's just it's done. It's out of the way, so I don't never look back at it until it's time for me to review for the exam or whatever, and then I can go through it. But I'll definitely do that. I'll be a good note taker.
Yeah, so the same thing with the final exam. Now the final exam has to be proctored. So, you know, in other words, y'all come up to Zoom. You know, we're not talking about going in class, come to Zoom, enable your cameras. But I'm not taking away your notes. So you could take notes on each one of the final exam review problems and then correspond that to the final exam test, and you should be good. You know what I mean? So that's my workaround, you know, to try to get you guys, you know.
It's appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Let's see. Are we giving points for the review test? So for your reviews, if you score 85 or better, I'll add 5 points to that respective test. Should go math questions. They are completely different from what you explained. It's not like you don't explain material. Well, what's the problems? So remember what I say, I never tell y'all can't go over any problem. Every day is opportunity for questions. I just tell y'all to bring the questions. So, you know, just, you know, if you got a problem, then let's talk about it. So I'm here. But see, the only thing I do is request from you guys that you guys bring the questions to me, because what I've done in the past is that I brought questions to the table, and then it's the same thing. It's just me lecturing. At least if you went and got the question that you wanted to see done, then that means at least you went in there and saw something that sparked your interest or didn't make sense or whatever the case may be. So that's all I ask. If you want me to go over something, then go in there, get the questions, and bring them to the table, and we'll knock them out. So if you have questions right now, but like I said, me picking a problem may not have even addressed your issue, you know, but if you see the problem and you know that's the issue, then we know that we're addressing the issue that you have. So if anybody have any questions right now, I'm open. So you guys a few seconds. Same thing with next class. Next class will be an opportunity to ask whatever questions you want to ask. Will be available to you. At 6-1. Can we go over the last homework since it's already due? Not sure what that means. Can we go over the last homework? Give me a problem. Go into the last homework, give me a problem. I don't know what you want me to do. So yeah, pick a problem. I don't care if it's past due or not past due. I'm not saying there's no stipulation on what I will go over. The only stipulation I have is that you tell me the problem you want me to do. So if you, I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm holding on. I don't have a problem waiting for you. Go in the math lab, pick a problem, whatever it is, the problem that you're talking about, that's you know, saying that you want me to go over. If it's something that's already due and you guys didn't get a chance to complete it, remember you can ask for an extension. I've already granted extensions in the past, so don't let something being past due be the reason why you don't get something done. So yep. I don't have a problem going over anything, whether it's past due or not past due on the job. I mean, the goal is to, make sure you guys have clarity. So please don't wait until stuff is past due to ask the question. I guess that's my point. If you have a question, most definitely, get that question in. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. Why is this not coming up? Okay, there we go. Overfile homework. I didn't even get past the first question. So 4.5, you said the first question. All right, let me get in there. All right, so this is 4.5, first question. It says determine whether the ordered pair is a solution of the system. So what you have to do is plug in zero, 1 and -2 in for X and Y. Remember, your first one is X, second one is Y. That's always the case. You plug it in for X and Y, see if it gives you a true statement here. Plug it in for X and Y and see if it gives you a true statement here. So let me take a picture. So, like I said, this is X, this is Y. Plug it into that first equation. That's 1 minus -2. Negative is positive, so that's 3 equal to 3. So that checks. Now, in order for it to be a solution for the whole system, though, it has to check for both. So now plug it into the second equation. So 4 times 1 is 4. -2 times -2 is +4. And so we have 8 equal to 8. And that checks as well. So yes, it is a solution. So if it doesn't work for both, then it's not a solution. All right. So you said question 3. Oh, wow. All right, so we solve the system by graphing. So anybody have any problems with this one before we go to that next one? The grade in math lab, if you've done everything you're supposed to do, and the reason why I say that is because if you never go into an assignment in math lab but never make an attempt, never, like I said, even go into it at all, it does not count it as a zero. So let's say let's say test one, you never went in there. So sometimes MATLAB doesn't even count it against you. But of course, I would have to count it against you because that's a whole zero for a test. So if you have done everything you're supposed to do, as far as your assignments are concerned, your grade in MATLAB, my grade should actually be higher than your grade in MATLAB. Because remember, I count, 85 to 100 for your homework as 100%, and 75 to a 84.9 as, saying not as a 90. So really your grade should be higher if you've done everything you're supposed to do. Yep. And that's just for your homework. Now your test grades are what they are. I just want to make sure the homework grades, I boost them up. Yeah. All right. So let's do this next problem. I want black. So we have x plus 1 equal to 1. X minus 4y equal to 16. And we want to solve this by graphing. So what we have to do is that we have to graph both of these lines on the same plane where they intersect. That's where our solution would be. All right, so we have to get a graphical representation for each line, and then where they intersect, that's where the solution will be. So I'm going to call this one equation 1, this one equation 2, just so you can have a reference as to what I'm talking about. I'm going to take that first equation. I like to take both of my equations and solve them for y. It's just my preference. At this point, you should have a system that you're leaning on to actually establish what your points are and everything. Yep. I'll get there as soon as I knock this one out. You said, hold on. Hit the wrong button. Simple and okay. So when you say 10.8, just make sure you go in there and pick out the problem, because I see you said simple and compound interest. So those are two different ones. So let me know, what problems you want me to do. So I'll create my XY chart. That's one way of doing it. And now MATLAB, don't forget, all you need is 2 points. So I'm choosing 0 and 1. So when X is 0, what is Y? Plugging in 0 for X, I get 1. Plugging in 1 for X, I end up getting 0. So in other words, you're talking about plugging in value for X right there. Remember you choose these two X values. All right. So those are my 2 points for equation 1. All right. Any problems with that before we look at some points for equation 2? Everybody okay? X minus 4y. All right, so here X minus 4y equal to 16. Once again, I like to solve my equations. 4y. So subtract X from both sides. Divide by -4. This -4 has to go to both. So y is equal to 1/4 X minus 4. So you take that -4 into both. The -4 doesn't cancel into the X, so it's just 1/4 X, and then 4 into 16 leaves you with 4. And we had a negative, so -4 into 16 leaves you with -4. So if you want, we could use the slope method here. We could have used it in this last one too, but just showing you the different ways you can graph a line. So if I decide to use the slope method here, my slope is 1/4. My y-intercept is -4. So ordered pair is 0, -4. And then here, 1/4. That means I go up 1, excuse me. Right 4. Or if you wanted, you could have just generated some points like I did here, just showing you the different ways of graphing the line. Like I said, at this point, you should have a one or two methods that you're leaning on to be able to graph and generate your points. All right, so once again, this method was you pick X values, plug them in, find the corresponding Y value. This method is using your slopes. So what's I solve for Y, whatever sitting in front of my X is my slope. The other number is my Y-intercept. So I had a +1 over +4 as my slope. So move up for up 1, right 4, rise over run. Let's rise over run. So I went up 1 and then right 4. And then my Y-intercept is 0, -4. So now I can graph those two lines. So that first line, equation 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. 0, 1 is right here. 1, 0 is right here. So that's my first line. Second line, I graph 0, -4, which is right here. Then I go up 1, right 4. And so my tick mark is going to be off. See all that space right there. So, but that would be the intersection right now. My 5, -2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not it. Let's see, 5, -2 should probably. Yeah, let's just throw the math lab with the tick marks not off and see what happens. But any questions on how I generated points? All right, so let's go to math lab. So pick this right here, this right here. And we're gonna graph those 2 points. So we had 0, 1, and then 1, 0. So that's the first line. And then -4. And then the other one, -4, and go up 1, right 4. All right. So they got 4, -3. All right. Let's check the answer. Yep. So that's it. So the solution, there's one solution, and then you would just, wherever they intersect, that would be your solution. So it should be 4, -3. And that's it. All right, so before we go to the next question, is everybody okay with this one? All right. So keep hitting the wrong button, go to the chat. So we got 10.8. All right, so here, find a simple interest. Simple interest formula is I equal to PRT. So notice we have principal, which is P is 400. R, your rate is 6%, and your time is 2. I wish I could write. I think you used to be able to write on this. But all right, let's go to the notes. So simple interest is I equal to P times R times T. Our simple interest was 400. And not simple interest, our principal was 400. Our rate was 6%. So it's going to be 0.06 when you convert it to a decimal, and then 2 for 2 years. So you can multiply it by hand or throw it in the calculator. I don't feel like thinking right now, so I'll throw it in the calculator, and that'll be 48. All right, so question 2 is the same thing, just change the numbers. Let's see. All right, so now number 3 is the same thing, except they give you your time in months instead of years. So notice we have 19,400, 5 1/4, and then time in months. All right. So same formula. We want to make sure we convert properly though. Our rate was 5 1/4%. I will go ahead and convert that 1/4 to 0.25 as a decimal. Just, you know, 1/4, put 1/4 in the calculator, give you 0.25. So I'm not asking you to divide it by longhand or remember that it's 1/4, but if you throw in the calculator, give you 0.25. So I would do that and then move my decimal 0.025. So move your decimal 2 places to the left to convert it to a percentage. And then your time was 7 months. And so you write that 7/12 to convert it to year, because it's 12 months in a year. So from there, throw that in the calculator, multiplying all 3 together. Yeah. So I got 594.125. And since it's money, should be rounded to the nearest cent. So it should be 594.13. Why did I do that? But all right, hold on, did I write something wrong? That's 7 divided by 12 times 0.0525 times 19,400. Oh, that's wet. Okay, so it says round to the nearest cent. So you would think you would round it up to 594.13 because it is 5, but for some reason they want 594.12. So if you do 594.13 and it don't work, just do the 12. I mean, that's all I can say. I don't know why they would do that. Don't know why that would happen, but you're only 2 options, 594.13. And then if they want 12, just put in a 12. So just probably a glitch. Yeah. So it's just probably a glitch. Sometimes there aren't mathematicians who actually program. You got programmers. So sometimes mistakes happen. But yeah, so I mean, it's still one of 2 answers. So if you try to 594.13 and that don't work, try the one under it and, go from there. If you ever get a problem like that wrong on a test, then always feel free to let me know and I can adjust the test score, because a test, you got to take them all over again, all that stuff. So I understand why you wouldn't want to. I can adjust the test score, but I wouldn't know unless you tell me. Yep. Wouldn't know unless you tell me. All right, let's see. Says something about number 4 as well. Yeah, let's see. Let me see. Somebody says those are the problems I was having doing it. Yep. Yeah. So if you've been having that problem, like I said, I would just suggest using one of those two. And if one of those two didn't work, then we really have a problem. But yeah, if it's supposed to be 13, but then it didn't work, try 12, and hopefully that'll be good to go. But let me know if you have any other issues outside of that. Company borrows $1,500 at 5% for 90 days. Okay, so here we have 1,500, that's a 1,500, 15,000, 5% in 90 days. So we're looking at 15,000, 5% is 0.05, and in 90 days, you put 90 over 360, not 365. So 360 is banker's rule. So it should be 360. So we got 90 divided by 360 times 0.05.
Hey, Professor.
Yes, sir.
So that 360 rule didn't work. I had to put 365 into a lot of the things.
Really?
Yeah, it's 365.
Hmm.
They didn't go by the banker's rule.
Oh, okay. So let me see what's going on here. If that's the case, they should say that up here as well. Yeah, I wonder why they did that. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know, sir. So, okay. Yeah, for some, maybe it's just this. I need to take a look at the book again because every other class, I do this in 103 at Norfolk State. I do this at 145. 155, and it's at TCC, 245 at TCC. Got one other class that I do it, and all of them use Banker's Rule. So I'll have to check this book again. Must be an isolated thing that this book doesn't hold true to. So, yeah. Mr. Tucker just pointed out, and then I think saw somebody confirm it in the chat. Ms. Bullock.
Yeah, it's
That
been
is
consistent.
365. Mm-hmm.
It's been consistent.
Oh yeah. I believe you. I believe you. Y'all doing the homework, man. You know I'm not doing it. So, so most definitely, if y'all see stuff like that, let me know so I can adjust, whether it be the notes or adjust, how we look at the problems or whatever the case may be. So, I had to go back in the notes for this book and make sure that we adjust it and say 365 and just use instead of 360. So 90 divided by 365 times 0.05. And I apologize for that. Of course, it was not intentional. So we're looking at 18493 now. So let's see. That most definitely will change the problem or the answer. All right. And total amount due, that means you take that and add it to the 15,000. And let's see if that's all they want there. Yep, so that's all they wanted. All right, so before I go to the next question, any questions on those simple interest calculations? And once again, as your classmate pointed out, we're going to use 365 when they mention days, not 360.
So I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So if we're doing a problem, all right, and in the homework in math lab, and it says ask your instructor, and we press that button, and the email comes up, and that problem gets sent to you with whatever we say. Where do we see? Where is the sent box for that, so I can see which one? Because that's going to help me figure out which questions I need to ask. Is if I can go back and look at those and figure out which ones I was having problems with, because I send you those immediately, like as soon as I start having a problem.
I don't know if you have record of that. It'll go to me. And like I told your classmate, I'm behind on my email, so I'm getting caught up now. So I'm going to respond to your emails. But I don't know if you get a record of that though. Yeah, I don't know if that's
That would help me to be able to ask the question, because once I send them and I finish the problem or whatever, then it's gone and the issue
yeah,
kind of disappears at the point, but
yeah,
then it reappears on the test and now I got a problem. So
yeah, yeah.
so so
So
so
what I
if
would
we could,
suggest, yeah, what I would suggest, well, I'm going to address them. I'm going to shoot you that email, but back, according to whatever it is that you asked me.
and I'm not
But
riffing with you. I
oh,
was
no,
just
no,
talking. I
no,
ain't
no,
riffing
no,
at all.
no, no,
I
you
love you to
fine.
death, bro.
Yeah, no,
We
you
all
good.
good.
Yeah, yeah, it's all good. So what I would suggest is that you at least jot a note that this is the problem I sent or something to yourself, so that because I might even respond back. This would probably be easier if we talk face to face on it versus me trying to
Right.
type it out. Because some stuff do talk, call for more conversation versus just typing it in the email. Like a lot of times problems are. So but if you're gonna talk it over with me, I got record of it. So I can always just pull it up. So I mean, it's just
Okay.
up to you. I mean, because I got record of them, and if you want me to go back and look at some of those emails and pull up those problems, I can.
No, I'm just saying it would help me, like in this situation right now where you're saying, hey, tell me a problem that you want me
Hmm.
to work out. If
Hmm.
I could pull those up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I had record of them, then I
Hmm.
would be immediately, I would be like, here, can we do these?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I can't remember because there's so
Hmm.
many different, I done did 5,000 problems already.
Right. 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 Yeah. I would just suggest like you do something like 10.2, and that to you just to jot a note. That means 10.2 number 5. Something real light for
Okay.
yourself. That yeah, because I don't think you get a record of that email
All right.
site. That would be nice though, and I might suggest that to them because they always looking for suggestions of how they can make things better for the student and for the instructors and stuff. So I
Yeah,
might,
that'll help.
yeah.
I should get
Um,
some extra credit for that too. I should get like 5 points extra credit on something.
it don't even matter, right? Just on something.
On something.
Hold on a second. All right. So, all right. So we're going to keep hitting the wrong button. Come on, chat. All right. Number 19 and 4.3. All right. So number 19 and 4.3, it says find the equation of the line that has a slope -2/3, which passes through -1, -7. All right. So we have a slope that's 2/3, and then we have a point x1, y1, which is 1, 7. Let me get my negatives right. It's -2/3. Oh, all of them negative. Okay. So we have -2/3 as a slope. Then our point is -1, -7. So we want to write the equation that has this criteria, fit this criteria, have these characteristics. So the formula that we'll use is y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. All right. And so we're going to plug in for,
That formula is always consistent.
yes, sir. If you have a point and a slope, this you're going to use this we call this the point slope formula.
Mhm.
Yep. So it's always be the go-to move if you have a point and a slope.
Yeah, I was getting good at that one.
So make sure you don't lose a negative when you do substitution. There's a negative in the formula, and we're plugging in -7. And we're plugging in -2/3. Then we plug in -1. Is everybody okay with the substitution? All right, so then we're going to distribute into here. Well, let me do this first. Before we do our distribution, let's go ahead and get rid of these double negatives just to remove the confusion. So that'd be y plus 7. Haven't distributed yet, but that's x plus 1 inside of the parentheses. So just did that because when I do this distribution, I didn't want to have to distribute across, have 3 negatives going on. So just make sure everybody's with me. So now we distribute. So -2/3 minus 1 will give you -2/3. -2/3 times x, which is -2/3 x. Any problems before we go to the next step? So next step, which is probably a step that y'all don't want to see, is that we have 2/3 and a 7 that we need to combine. So we need to put some fraction work into it. Most people don't like those fractions. So 7 is the same thing as 7/1. Whenever you're trying to add or subtract your fractions, you define common denominators. 3 would be that common denominator for us. So we'll multiply top and bottom by 3. So it's going to be -21/3. So what we're looking at here is -2/3 minus 21/3, or 21/3, which would be -23/3. And that would be our answer.
And that would it would be that answer because it's asking you to put it in a certain form.
Yep. And so they just want the equation of the line. So yeah, they're not asking for anything else outside of that. That's just as simple as it gets. Yeah. All right. Anybody have any problems with that before we go to the next one? All right, so I know there was another one in there. All right, yep, I'm gonna open that for you. Those are problems. Okay. Yep. So, yep, Ms. Wilhelmina says she print the problems out. Okay, yep. Don't have records. All right, any other problems? Anything else anybody can think of that you want me to do? Throw it in the chat or unmute. Everybody good, everybody straight. Tucker, I know you had talked about meeting outside of class, but you never did shoot me that email, so that means you were good?
Yeah, I worked it out.
Okay.
I just worked it out doing the homework and stuff.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, cool.
There were a few questions, but I figured out how to communicate with you through the actual homework. So shooting you what I was just talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So no. And if I did, I would communicate it with you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure I didn't miss it because sometimes the emails get lost in the sauce and all that. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I know we meet twice a week, so I can always. I'm vocal.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm very vocal. Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else? So once again, I'm gonna shoot that lecture out today from last class. Next class will be opportunity for questions again. If anything was tallied up over the weekend. If not, then we will get into lines and angles. We only have wrong slides. Let's go. We only have chapter 7 and chapter 9 as far as new material left. And they're relatively light sections, you know, talking about perimeter area and volume using formulas, you know, as long as you use the right formula. Measurements.
You mean before midterm or
No, man,
like
as
at
far as
all?
all together, man, the content, like
Wait a minute.
yeah, chapter 7 and chapter 9, we've already done chapter 4. And we did chapter 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Right. So what hold on, do we got a midterm or anything?
No, I don't really do midterms. No,
Okay.
I don't do midterms. Unless you want one, man. You know, I aim to
No,
please.
I mean, you test me on the stuff I know, I'll ace that test. I'll kill it. Just leave the stuff off of there I don't know, you know?
Right. Let's see, when is the homework due? So we got chapter 4 stuff that we're talking about right now. Let's see, it's 10/7 today. So let's see, 10/10, 10/17. We can make that 10/24. Let me look at something real quick. One second. 4. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So I give you till what, 10/24? Y'all probably don't need all that time. I'm gonna give it to you anyway. So 10/24 for chapter 4 stuff. And then we'll move from there. Yep. So questions on anything. So when it looks like what it looks like, test date 10/24. Yep. So everything from chapter 4 will be, it needs to be done by 10/24. So even the test as well. So our first proctored test, we haven't proctored a test at all. So what I'll probably do is, since chapter 7 is kind of light, you know, like I said, I'm dealing with formulas, conversion factors, and stuff like that. You know, feet to inches, you know, stuff like that. It's kind of temperature, Kelvin, you know. So it's kind of like, as long as you have a formula, and I'm not going to take the formulas away from you. So you make your formula sheet or have your formulas ready for you. We'd just be able to say that we proctored that one. In other words, you know, you would come to class on, you know, unmute your, or make your cameras available, show your ID, and then you'll just knock that test out. We'll probably do that for chapter 7.
What ID?
It doesn't matter, as long as picture ID, it doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily have to be school ID. I know sometimes people don't necessarily have their school ID available. So
Yeah, I don't have a school ID at all.
yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Right.
And so we'll do that. And any proctor test, I always give a makeup available as well. So we'll talk about all that and how we're gonna do it, but that's at the end of chapter 7. But we do have to get some kind of proctor test in there at some point. So yeah, we'll do that for chapter 7. And yeah, go from there. Questions, concerns, comments before we close. Make sure we're good.
So does proctor mean timed?
It will be during the class time, but when I look at that test, let me see how many problems it is. Whatever it is that we do, I don't set you up for failure. You know, so
the exam's gonna be timed as well. That's gonna be during class time as well.
yeah.
So we only got an hour and a half to do all of everything.
2 hours. 2 hours. Yep.
Man,
But
sometimes it takes me longer.
you'll be ready, sir. You'll be ready.
All right.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I believe in me too. That's just pressure. It either make diamonds or bust pipes. I got more pipes than I got diamonds. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man, that's funny. That's a good one. I don't think I've heard. I've heard. I've heard the buzzing pipes. I know about the buzzing pipes, but I don't think normally people try to use that to encouragement. You know,
Uh-huh.
pressure makes
Yeah, yeah.
diamonds, but
I'm a
they'll talk
realist.
about they'll talk about busting pipes too. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a realist.
so 21 questions on those chapter 7 tests, and so you know I don't think it. You know, if you talking about conversion factors, if you're using your formulas,
Well,
it
chapter
should.
7 is gonna be a breeze for me
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. I know
That
this. I know that's right down your line. That's right down your alley.
sort of kind of. I started on the homework on that, and
Mhm.
I've gotten to a point where there's some things that I don't know, and but so I'm waiting on you to, you know what I mean, to teach me
Mhm.
the things that I don't know. But I always like to go through and do the stuff that I know. You
Right.
know what I mean? Knock that on out of there.
Right. Yeah. I feel you, sir. And so when it comes to the final exam, just like the review, you know, you'll have that review available for you to set yourself up so that you can make proper use of your time. Because a lot, let me see, chapter 10. I need to go in there and check this because it looks like something 10-4. This annotation range, mean mode of me. Okay. All right. Okay, we all right. Okay. At least I hope we all right. I'll check it out later though. So yeah. So you should have plenty of time in both cases, whether it's chapter 7 or the final exam. With the problems that I chose, I didn't choose ones that were going to take a bulk, you know, of your time. It's just you know, just a summary of what we've done during the class. So yep. All right. So anything else, anybody else before we close? Everybody good? I know Ms. Davis, you had mentioned email. I'm going to get to your email. So, you know, just look out for the email. And other than that, you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. And I will see you on next class. Yep, no problem. No problem at all.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man, you have a good one.
Appreciate your time. Yeah.
Yes,
Be
sir.
safe out here.
You do the same. All right.